Let me get my button. Okay, so today we've moved on. We've now moved on to, we're in your new book, which is called Module 3, which is a fancy word for chapter. And today we're on lesson 2. So yesterday you should have completed lesson 1. I'm still waiting for lesson 1 exit tickets from Tyler, Hayden G, Damian, Julian Dixon, Duran, Andrew, Zach, Noah, Kaliana, and Hayden Waitman. So if any of you are on here now, let's get those turned in. Yes, Hayden.
I did it, but I don't think I turned it in.
Well, so on Wednesday's folder, the very last thing to click on is the exit ticket. So you should be doing all of your work in your packet. Then you click on that link and that's where you put your answers. And then you have to click submit at the end.
I did, but I don't think you got it.
Okay, when did you do it? If you did it like in the past, maybe 20 minutes, I probably
2
did.
seconds.
Couple seconds ago?
Yeah.
Okay, then I haven't had time to check, but if you did it, then I'll look at it when this is over, okay? If you did do your exit ticket, I looked at them, and remember I told you yesterday, the exit tickets are very sensitive. So if you put an extra space, or if you spell something wrong, or label something differently, it may have counted it as being wrong. But I went back in and looked at everyone's exit tickets, and I adjusted your score if you had something correct and just didn't match up exactly. Yesterday, I told you I was feeling very, very nice. So if you forgot to label area correctly, I still gave it to you, but I put some feedback on there to remind you how to label the area. Who can tell us how you label, or what's the difference between how you label perimeter? Oh, let's start here. What's the difference between perimeter and area? Who can tell me? Peyton?
Area is square.
Hold on, Soren.
Oh.
First of all, Soren, that's not the question that I asked. And second of all, please just be patient. Okay, Peyton, what's the difference between area and perimeter when we're finding it? What's it look like?
The perimeter is something around the shape.
Very good. And
The area is the inside of the shape.
The inside. And if you were in school, look, it looks like I'm almost shading in the box that I'm in, where I'm talking. So all the inside of my box is my area. And if you're in school, I told you something, a gross hint that helps, that Mr. Menz uses to remember the perimeter. A dog pees around the outside of its yard. Why? I don't have a dog and I'll never have one, so I don't know. Why does a dog pee around the outside of your yard? Who knows? Zoe?
Because it drinks lengths times widths of water.
No, but nice try.
I
Chase?
know. Because it marks where they went already.
Right, it goes around the outside of your yard because it doesn't want any animals coming in. So hopefully that's a funny or gross way to remember that perimeter is the perimeter. It's around the figure, no matter what shape it is. My next question is, how do you find the area of something? What do you do? How do you find the area? Tegan?
You multiply the length times the width.
Very good. When you're finding area, how is it labeled? So if my area is 99 feet, my answer is not just 99 feet. How should it be labeled? It's something special. Colin?
99 square feet.
Very good. It's square units. So it could be square miles, square meters, square feet, whatever the unit is. So now let's talk about perimeter. How do you find the perimeter of something? Who knows? What do we do to find the perimeter? Nolan?
You add the width and you'd add 2 of the widths and 2 of the other ones.
Okay, so if you're talking about a rectangle, that's 4 sides. So you add both of the widths and both of the lengths. But we could find the perimeter of any figure. So if I had a 10-sided figure, what would I do to find out what the perimeter is? Zoe?
You would add side plus side plus side
There-
plus side. plus
Great
side.
job. You just add up all the sides. And so if my perimeter is 50 feet, what unit do I report my perimeter in? Nina?
You would have a 10 and a 5 to like.
No, I think you're thinking of area. If I add up all my sides and I get 50, how would I report that for the perimeter? How is it labeled?
50 centimeters.
Well, it was in feet, but yes, it's just the unit. So whether it's 50 centimeters, 50 feet, its perimeter is not square units, only
And
area.
also, I checked on my on the exit ticket. It said that it didn't change my score. Even like I forgot to like label one, and
When did
I
you
put
check it?
A equals area equals, and it didn't.
When did you check it?
Right now I just checked it.
Okay, well, stay on with me when we're finished and I'll look at it with you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so now here's the question that I told you to be thinking about 15 minutes ago. What did you learn in the lesson 2 video today? What did you learn about in the lesson 2 video today? Julian, what did you hear the teacher talking about?
Solving word problems.
Okay, so today, now we're getting, yesterday we did the basics. Now they know that you already learned about perimeter and area in 3rd grade. So now we're amping it up. That's why for those of you who haven't done yesterday's lesson, your parents are probably very annoyed with me because I've been messaging them over and over again saying, your child needs to do lesson 1 because today we're building. Now this gets tougher. So if you haven't done the basics of yesterday, I think you would be confused today. So it's very important that you do lesson 1. Now we're going to start lesson 2. So we're going to solve some word problems and some more challenging problems. So everyone should be on page 7 in their student workbook.
I didn't do page 7 yet.
Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't have because we're doing them now, Zoe.
Okay.
Okay, so at the end of the video, the teacher on the video told you that the must-do problems for today are numbers 2 and 4. 4, we have to do letters A through E. So we're going to skip over number 1, and we're going to start with number 2. Okay, let's have Ryan, go ahead and read number 2 for me.
I'm Miss Shevchik.
I'm not sure who that is, but hello.
It's me, Zach.
Oh, hello, Zach. Good to see you. Now I can erase you. Good thing I wrote in pencil. I erased you off my naughty list and you get put on the nice list now. Okay, go ahead, Brian. Can you get unmuted? Zach, we're on page 7 in your student workbook. All right, Jack, why don't you read for us?
A narrow rectangular banner is 5 inches wide. It is 6 times as long as it is wide.
Okay, so Jack, do you know what the word narrow means? If you're walking down a narrow hallway, what would you imagine the hallway looks like?
Like an endless hallway?
Now that's a really good guess. Does anyone know what the word narrow means? You might have a narrow foot. Carson?
It's a tight space.
Right, it's skinny, it's little, it's a tight space. Great job. Carson, what about the word rectangular? What's that mean?
It's a shape.
Okay, what do you know about a rectangle? How many sides does it have?
4.
Okay, so a rectangle has 4 sides. And what do you know about the length of the opposite sides of a rectangle? So if we look up here, this is a rectangle. And I know that these sides need to be what?
The same size?
Right, opposite sides are equal in length. So these sides are the same length and same with these. Okay, so for letter A, we have to draw a diagram of the banner and label its dimensions. So we're going to start by drawing a rectangle. You're going to draw a rectangle. You want to try as best as you can to make the sides equal. Now I know looking on my screen, mine definitely is not perfect. Just try your best. Tanya, can you help me label this? I need to label what are my dimensions of what do I know about the dimensions of my rectangle?
It has 5 inches wide
Okay, stop right
and
there.
6.
So here's my width. That's how wide it is. So I'm going to label this 5 IN period. That's the abbreviation for inches. Before I move on, can I label anything else with the number 5 inches? Chase?
The other side,
This one, or this one?
that one.
For the opposite side. Very good. 5 inches. So now, Sarah, I want to figure out what the length of this side is. So let's look at the information they gave. It's 6 times as long as it is wide. So should I put a number 6 here? Because is that 6 inches long? No. Very good. I'm glad you're shaking your head because this is so important. It's 6 times as long. So how am I going to figure out how long it is? Oh, can't hear you, Sarah.
You multiply 5 by 6.
So we're going to take our 5 inches. We're going to multiply it by 6 because it's 6 times as big. Sarah, what's 5 times 6? Hunter, 5 times 6.
30.
So Hunter, what would I label this side?
30 IN and then put a period.
What does IN period stand for?
Inches.
Hunter, can I label anything else on my rectangle?
Yes.
What
The
else?
opposite side of that.
And what would I label that? What dimension?
30 inches.
Very good. So let's look at letter A. We had to draw a diagram of the banner and label its dimensions. So Trace, how wide is my banner?
I times 6 equals 30.
Look at your picture and how wide is my banner?
5 inches.
Very good. How long? What's the length of the banner?
6 inches.
No. Look at our drawing. It was 6 times 30 inches, 6 times as big. So that means we would take one of these sides, and just like in the video, she used the little cubes. We would put 6 of those in a row to get a 30-inch length. Okay, so now we need to find the perimeter. Caliana, how do I find perimeter? What do? I want to build a fence the whole way around this. What would I do to find out how much fence I need? Can you unmute yourself? What would I do?
can't see any of the work.
What? I don't think you have your sound on.
I can't see anything that we're doing because I don't see the paper up here, and I can't see.
What do you see on your screen?
I just see you guys and then myself.
Miss Jameson, do you have any idea why she's not seeing the screen?
No, because I can see it. Everyone else can see it, right? You see what she's working on, right? I see it with the screen share.
If you
Is there a
can
way
see,
you can change your
if you
picture
can see
size,
my-
Caliana?
if you cannot see my hand, unmute yourself and tell me.
I
I
see
can't
you.
see your hand.
I just want to know who cannot.
I can't.
All right, can you take your computer to someone in your house and see if they can figure out how to get the screen? Because I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Okay, Cooper, how do I find the perimeter?
You add both 5 inches together.
Okay, so give me an equation. So I have 5 plus 5 plus what?
Plus 30. And plus another 30.
Okay, so remember, now that we are finding area and perimeter and not testing your computation, you can use a calculator if you like, but I think we could do this one. Cooper, what's 5 plus 5?
10.
What's 10 plus 30?
40.
40 plus 30?
70.
How would we label this, Cooper? 70 what?
IN dot.
Good. IN, or you can even spell it inches if you want. Let's go ahead and circle that. 70 inches. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? All right, let's go ahead and now we need to move on to number 4. So number 4, you're going to skip page 8 because that's number 3. Number 4 is on page 9. Number 4 has a lot of parts. A lot of parts in number 4.
Ms. Shevchik,
Yes.
the problem said to find the area too.
Oh, did it? Thank you. I missed that, Tegan. All right, let's reverse. Go ahead back. Okay, thank you. Look, do you know why I missed it, Tegan? Because I didn't follow my own rules. I should have highlighted or underlined perimeter and area. See what happens when I don't remember to follow my own set of rules? Tegan, what do we know about area? What do I do to find the area?
You multiply the width times the length.
Okay, so for this question, for this example, we do not know the area, so I'm going to keep that as an A. What is my length?
30 inches.
And what's my width?
5 inches.
Okay, now some of you might think, or your parents are probably saying, wow, that's a huge multiplication problem, but I know you can tell them, you know, an easy way to solve this. Tegan, what do we know about when we have a number with zeros? What can we do when we're multiplying?
You can cross out the 0 and put it into your answer.
Okay, and now I'm left with what basic fact?
3 times 5
Equals?
15.
Great job. So Tegan, what's my final answer? Area equals what?
150 inches.
Yeah.
Huh?
150 squared inches.
Great job. Square inches. So you can write that. And I know it's hard. It's not, I don't know how to type that on the computer, but when you're writing it, you can put the little tiny 2, that's called an exponent, above inches, or you could also write 150 IN period squared. You could write it out, inches squared. You could even say square inches. All of those would be All of these options are correct. Thank you, Tegan, for keeping me on my toes. Okay, now we're going to move on to number 4. This time I won't forget to follow my own rules, and let's read and talk about what's important first. Gracie, go ahead and read number 4 for us, please. Damien, are you writing down anything? I haven't seen your hand move at all, and we're doing these together. Do you have your workbook in front of you? Show me your workbook. You have a pencil? Okay, write down what we're doing, okay? That will help you when you have to do this on your own. Okay, Gracie, go ahead and read about Betsy.
The area of Betsy's rectangle sandbox is 20 square feet. The longer side measures 5 feet. The sandbox at the park is twice as long and twice as wide as Betty's.
Oh boy. Okay, so we know that the area of Betsy's rectangular sandbox is 20 square feet. The longer side is 5 feet. Now we have a different sandbox. The sandbox at the park is twice as long and twice as wide as Betsy's. So for letter A, Duran, read to me letter A. Right here, read letter A.
Draw and label a
Diagram.
diagram of Benny's sandbox. What is its
Perimeter.
perimeter?
Caliana, I see you that you're working now. Now you need to have your pencil in your hand and you're working with us. So now our first job is to draw and label Betsy's sandbox. So I'm going to draw my sandbox. I'm going to write on here so I know what it is. Betsy's sandbox. So go ahead and draw Betsy's sandbox on your paper.
I did that already.
Okay, Carter, you're going to be helping me with this one, so you can get ready. Let me know when you have your sandbox drawn, Carter, and unmute yourself.
I'm ready.
Okay, Carter, up in our story, what do we know about Betsy's sandbox?
Excuse me.
That hers is smaller than the one at the park.
Well, what do we know? Do we know any of the length of the sides? Do we know the area? Look back here in the story, and we're going to fill in what we know.
The area of Betty's sandbox is 20 square feet.
Okay, so Carter, will 20 square feet go in the inside or outside?
Inside.
Okay, so we're going to label this 20 feet squared.
It's subject.
Hello?
Hi.
That's Julian Dixon just popped on, Mrs. Chev.
Hi, Julian. How are you? Good to see you.
Hi, Julian. Hi.
Julian, we're in your student workbook on page 9.
Okay.
Okay, Isla, other than the area of this sandbox, that means all the sand in here, We need enough to cover 20 square feet. What else do you learn in your story about this sandbox?
The longer side is 5 feet.
Okay, so this looks to be shorter. This is my longer side, so I'm gonna label this 5 feet. I know opposite sides are equal, so I'm also gonna label this side 5 feet. If I continue to read, it talks about the sandbox at the park. Well, I'm not concerned with that one yet. Over here, I need to find the perimeter. So I know, Reese, I'm coming to you next, honey. I know that the inside is 20 feet. This length is 5 feet. This length is 5 feet. What else do I need to know to find the perimeter?
That like you have to add those two together.
What do I need to add together?
The 5 feet and the other 5 feet.
Okay, so if I add 5 plus 5, what does that give me?
10.
Okay, so what does that tell me? How is that my perimeter?
No.
Okay, because what am I missing? So I have the length of both of my sides. What am I missing? So so far I put wood on this side of my sandbox and this side of my sandbox. What else do I still need to do?
The width.
Very good. So if I know this takes up 10 feet, I need to figure out what the width would be. So how could I do that, Reese? If I know that the area is 20, so if I look at my formula, area equals length times width. I know that my area is 20 and my length is 5. So now I have to figure out this big question mark here, this W.
Wouldn't the other sides be 5 too? Because the in total it's 20, and then it would be another 5 plus 5 would equal 10.
Well, hold on. You're thinking the perimeter is not 20. The area is 20. So look at this equation. We punched in what we knew. 20 is the area. 5 is the length. So this is asking you 5 times what gives me 20? And that what?
Times 2.
5 times 2 equals 10.
Oh, times 4.
Okay, so this equation, 5 times 4 equals 20. So that tells me the width is what?
4.
4 feet.
Mhm.
Okay, Trace. So now that I have all of my sides labeled for my sandbox, how do I find the perimeter?
You got to add all the sides.
Okay, tell me what my equation is.
Five plus 4 plus 5 plus 4.
Good job. Okay, Ava, go ahead, unmute yourself and help me add this up. What's 5 plus 4?
9.
Plus 5 more?
14.
Plus 4?
18.
Ava, how would that be labeled? 18 what?
Feet. I mean, FT. And
Great. Yep. FT, or you could write feet. Perimeter is not squared, just regular feet, because we're just going around. So we added up, we were able to put a border on our sandbox. We need 18 feet of wood. Okay, now we're going to move on to letter B. Carissa, go ahead and read B.
Draw and label a diagram of the sandbox at the park. What is its perimeter?
Okay, so now we're going to draw We had Betsy sandbox. Now we need a park sandbox. There's our park sandbox. Orlando, if you look at our story, what do we know about the park sandbox?
The park sandbox is twice as long and twice as wide as Betsy's.
Very good. So look, I'm circling. This is so important. Twice as long and twice as wide. So Carson, let's start with long. How long is Betsy's sandbox?
20 feet.
No, that's the area. How long is Betsy's sandbox? Look at the picture. We drew it. How long is the sandbox?
18 feet.
No, that's the whole way around. That's the perimeter. We're just looking for the length. Remember, length is the one side. How long it is.
5 feet.
5 feet. Here's our length. So Carson, if we know that this sandbox is twice as long, what would we do to figure out how long this sandbox is?
Multiply.
What are we going to multiply?
5 times
Okay, so that's Betsy's sandbox. We want it twice as long. So what would we multiply 5 by?
5 times 5.
No, it's not 5 times as long. It's twice as long. So what number is the same as the word twice?
5 times 2.
What is 5 times 2?
10.
Okay, so the length of this sandbox is 10 feet. So we're going to label this side 10 feet and this side 10 feet because we know opposite sides are equal in length. Boys and girls, I see a lot of things in the chat. If I can't read them, but I see it blinking. If you're chatting, I'm going to have, and if it's inappropriate, I'm going to have to ask your parents to have you not come because all it is doing is distracting people. It's rude. If you need something, please just unmute yourself and tell me. But all that's, whenever you're talking in there, you're not paying any attention to what we're doing.
Miss Shevchik,
Sir.
most of the people that are chatting is saying stop.
Right, and it's not doing anyone any good other than my toolbar keeps coming down and an orange light's flashing. Okay, Damien, I'm going to have you pick up here. We know that the length is 10 feet. Now we need to find the width. Look back up in our story and what do we know about the width of the park sandbox?
Twice as wide.
Okay, so look at Betsy's sandbox. How wide is Betsy's sandbox?
Miss Subchick,
Yes.
I see a number 2, but beside chat.
Okay, can you just ignore it, please? You have a lot to catch up on, Julian, so you should really be focusing on page number 9. Damien, look at Betsy's sandbox over here. Carson just told us that it was 5 feet wide. I'm sorry, 5 feet long. How wide is it?
4 feet.
Okay, so I have 4 feet, and this tells us this sandbox is twice as wide. So what am I going to do to this 4 to figure out the width of this box? If something's twice as big, what am I going to do? 4, what would I do to make 2 times bigger? Sunny, you want to help him out? Sunny, can you help him out?
I'm confused on this one.
Okay, so look here. This is 4 feet long, 4 feet wide. This box is twice as wide. So that means it's 2 times bigger. So what am I going to do? And they showed you in the video. And if you're confused, you should be asking yourself, did I watch the video and pay attention? Because on the video, they used cubes and they showed you what to do when something has many times bigger. So if this is confusing you, you need to go back and watch the video. Just like I said, you can't just jump to the practice because you haven't done the learning yet. So Sunny, if this is 4 feet and this one is 2 times as wide, we're going to take the 4 feet of this sandbox and do what to it?
Is it by 2?
Yep, because it's 2 times bigger. What's 4 times 2?
8
And how would that be labeled? 8 what?
feet.
8 feet. Very good. So we know this side is 8 feet and this side is 8 feet. Now we have to find the perimeter. Now let's see. Hayden Garland, why don't you help me with this one? We know that to find perimeter, what do we have to do to all the sides?
Add them.
Very good. Can you give me a number model? What equation can I use to find how long it is from here to here, here to here?
4.
No. How long is this side right here?
10 feet.
Okay. Now I'm going to add to that this side.
8.
And then I'm going to add this side.
Plus 10 feet.
And then I'm going to add this side.
Plus 8.
All right. Okay. Now for this one, I'm going to break it up some. So Hayden, what's 10 plus 10?
20.
What's 20 plus 8?
28.
What's 28 plus another 8?
36.
Very good. So Hayden, how would I label this? 36 what?
36 feet.
Very good. 36 feet. So the tough part about this one was you had to go back to this sandbox and use those phrases. Twice as long, twice as wide. And so you need to know what you're multiplying by. Okay, any questions with letter A or B? Because we're going to be using these to move on to C. Okay, Nevaeh, go ahead and read letter C.
What is the relationship between the two perimeters?
Okay, so we're going to talk about the relationship between the two perimeters. Briley with a B. What are the two perimeters?
Briley or the B. Do you have a Briley in your class?
I can't hear you, honey.
I'm unmuted, so.
I'm going to be talking on the phone, so you better unmute.
Briley with the B. Keep yourself unmuted and tell me what the two perimeters are that we just found. Look at letter A and letter B. We just found both of those perimeters. What are they? Talk into the microphone. Maria, do you know what the two perimeters are that we just found?
The two perimeters are 18 and 36 feet.
Okay, so we have 18 feet and 36 feet. Now, our job is to figure out the relationship between these two numbers. So that means like, is one bigger than the other? And by how much? Is one smaller than the other? So this is almost like finding a pattern. Andrew, Brian, and Noah, go ahead and turn your cameras on because I'm going to ask you guys to help me with this one. Andrew, Noah, unmute yourselves. So I know you're here. If you just have your computer on and you're not responding, it's not doing you any good. Okay, Chase, have you found a relationship between these two numbers?
If you add 18 plus 18, it equals 36.
Okay, so Chase, we could say that how much bigger is 36? How many 18s does it take to make 36?
18 times 2.
Very good. So I want you to write both of those down so you know where those numbers came from. Now we're going to write a sentence. Colin, can you think of a sentence that we could use that tells us that the relationship, what Chase just found for us? You're muted, dear.
Sorry, I was muted. 36 is 2 times as much as 18.
Right, but let's use like the park benches because we're going to talk about. So we could say the park sandbox is what? How much bigger was this sandbox than this sandbox?
2 times bigger.
The park sandbox is 2 times bigger than what, Brian? What was the park sandbox 2 times bigger than? Brian, the park sandbox is 2 times bigger than what? Try talking, Brian. Let me see if I can hear you. Say hi. I don't think your volume's working. I can't hear you. Hey, Damien, the park sandbox is 2 times bigger than what? Damien, the park sandbox is 2 times bigger than what?
Couple of records are flying through the wire despite positive COVID test. Talk to her.
Damien, are you there? Boys and girls, I know like a lot of you look like you're falling asleep, and I think it's because no one's paying attention. So when I call on you, you just sit and stare. Damien, the park sandbox is 2 times bigger than what? We've only talked about one other thing.
Betty sandbox.
There you go. Then Betsy sandbox. All right, moving on. Maria, go ahead and read letter D.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. Find the area of the park sandbox using the formula A equals L times W.
Okay, Carson, what's the formula for finding area? Carson, what's the formula for finding area?
Formula A equals length times width.
Good. Area equals length times width. Ilea, what do we know about the park sandbox? What parts of A equals L times W can we fill in?
The park sandbox width is 8 feet and the park's length is 10 feet.
Great job. So I plugged in the 10 by my L. I keep my multiplication sign and I put the 8 under my W. So I need to figure out 10 times 8. Sarah, what's 10 times 8?
80.
How should this be labeled, Tanya? 80 what?
80 feet.
What was that?
80 feet.
Huh? The area? Two-dimensional, length times width?
80 feet squares.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. 80 feet squared. 80 square feet. Good job. Okay, so we need to go on to the next page. You guys, Andrew, let's put the Go-Gurt down. Andrew. Come on, you're not even looking at the screen. Okay, you guys have the book in front of you, so you can open it up now so you can see both sides. I'm going to keep mine folded over so that it's easy for you to see letter E. But we're going to have to go back and look at this page. So leave your book open like this so you can see both sides. Okay, this is our last one, letter E. I don't think I've heard from Riley with an R. Can you read letter E, please?
Sandbox at the park has an area that is how many times that of Betsy's sandbox?
Okay, sandbox at the park has an area that's how many times as Betsy's sandbox? So we need the park area and Betsy's area. Riley, what do we know the area of the park bench, park sandbox? We just found it. Look back at letter D. What's the area of the park sandbox?
80 feet.
What was that?
Oh, 80 square feet.
There you go. Duran, what's the area of Betsy's sandbox? Look back on the other page and find Betsy's sandbox. What's the area? Aliana, what's the area of Betsy's sandbox? Sophia, third time's a charm. What's the area of Betsy's sandbox?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sorry, I don't know what was wrong.
No, not you. I asked one person, they ignored me. The second person ignored me. You were my third charm.
Betsy's sandbox is 20 feet squared, or squared feet.
Very good. So now we need to figure out how many times bigger it is. So we need to do 20 times something is going to give me 80. So Isla, I want you to help me with this one. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Isla, you're going to count by 20s for me, and I'm going to put my fingers up to see how many times we have to add 20 together to get to 80, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we start with 20. What comes after 20?
40, 60, 80.
So how many times was that, Isla? 4. Very good. And so let's check our work. Reese, what is 20 times 4?
80.
Okay, so you can confirm, correct? We did it right. We're good teamwork. So how many times bigger? So we know it is 4 times bigger. It is 4 times bigger right here. Oh. Julian, where's your notebook at? You've been running around this whole time.
Miss Shevchik.
Yes, sir.
What's it called? So I'm at my grandma's and my notebook is at home, but I'm writing it in a thing. So this way, when I do go home, I can write it in it.
Perfect. Julian, did
What
you write?
page is it?
Did you write any of this down?
No.
Okay, so what did you get out of being here then? If you didn't write anything down and you're running around in the background. Did you learn anything today?
No.
Yeah, and that means now you haven't done anything since the last time we were in school. And that was November, I don't even remember, 16th, 15th, 14th. It's been a long time. The Zooms are good because when you come to a Zoom and you have your book, raise your hand if you think it's easier to get through the problems when we do them together. So then if you have questions, I'm here for you to ask and I help you with it. We're doing them together and I have them on the screen. And I know like this is not as fun as being in school when we can use manipulatives and get into groups. Next week, we're going to try to get into some groups to work on the homework. So hopefully that'll be a little bit more fun for you. But we just need to worry about now getting in here, seeing the screen, being attentive, having your pencil, having your work, and getting some practice problems done. And then your parents say they don't understand and they need us to call them. And whenever you do get on, then you don't even have anything in front of you to be working on. You have to take some responsibility. And I know you can do it because I see you do it at school. And I know it's weird that you're at home and we're asking you to do this. But for math, you really only need 4 things at the most. Your workbook, exit ticket some days. Next week, we're going to be starting your sprints and a pencil. If you have all of those things in front of you, that's pretty much all you've needed so far. Okay, those are the must-do problems for today. Now, I'm going to share again with you to go over just to make sure everyone knows what's expected of them. Now, I got to wait for this little thing. We're going to go into my Schoology page. Once you're here and you go to either hybrid or full remote, this is the week of November 30th. That was Monday's date. Today is Thursday. When you should look at this probably Wednesday night or early Thursday morning before language arts class. So then you can see right here, it says to you, please be sure to watch this before coming to the Zoom. So you understand the concept or at least have some background knowledge. The video is right here for you to click on. Then here's your assignment. After you've watched the lesson 2 video, complete the must-do problems. Then I list them for you. If you want to do them with me, join my Zoom. So if you're coming, you guys should be ready for me to call on you. Like I see some of you, and I thank like Maria and Nevaeh and Tanya and Chase, and there's a lot of you. Colin, and I can't name everyone because I could go on and on, but there's Ilea. There's so many of you that as soon as I call on you, you know exactly where we are. And even if you're having trouble, you can communicate with me and talk to me about, you're not sure about this, or you can at least tell me that you don't understand. It's not okay for me to call on you and you not be at your computer. Now, it's one thing, I know you might have to use the restroom. Now, those are very few circumstances, but keep in mind, you guys are home all day, but I know emergencies happen, but every once in a while, if you're at the restroom, that's one thing. But there's some people that every time I call on you, you're nowhere to be found. That would be just like coming to school and then spending your whole day in the nurse's office. You're not getting anything out of school that way. So we did these problems, so you don't have to do those now. Unless you left during the Zoom, now you have to go back and do these. This is all you have to do for the rest of the day for math. You're going to set a timer, and any unfinished problems from page 7, 8, 9, and 10, you're going to work on. This is just like in school when we do the warm-up this way sometimes. What happens if the 10 minutes goes by, Maria, and you didn't do everything?
Okay.
That's okay. I just want you to work on your own and see if you can accomplish something without my help. Okay, then tomorrow, so then when you're done with that, you should look at Friday's expectations. I'll tell you now, you're going to be working on some homework and you're completing another exit ticket. Tomorrow is also a time where if you're seeing you had trouble on Tuesday, Duran, that's not appropriate. Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday's work, or if tomorrow you're having trouble, that's when you send me a message, and then tomorrow I can make some small groups to help, or I can work with you one-on-one. If we have a lot of people, I know Miss Jamison will take a group. Miss Anchor told me she would, but you have to tell us. You have to say, not, I don't get it, or I didn't do anything. It has to be, I don't understand how to find area, or I'm really having trouble with this 2 times or 5 times bigger than, because then I can group you with similar needs, and then we can find a way to help you. Okay, so now